Yeah, so here we go again, I guess. I'm sweaty AF because I just went for a leisurely walk for a change, for the first time in a long time. Only did a bit over 1k, but better than nothing, I guess. I got to listen to some podcasts I've been behind on. Right next to major traffic roads, so it might be you hear a lot of cars, particularly now that I'm opening the window. Sorry for that. Got a few things on my mind, I guess. First, I got time for this now because I left the house too early for uni. We got a half shooting day, but call time is only 12:30 for crew, so and the time now is 11:07. Ooh, nice, that rhymes. One might want to name company after it. Who knows? Haha. So I got a load of time. I had originally planned on continuing inventory today, but I was appealed to please not come today due to it being a very busy day, which I do understand in some ways. So I guess I'll honour it. Still drinking on the same bottle of this stuff. There we go. I was reached out to by my tea dealer earlier today. Looks like they're finally taking me up on the offer to help them drive around some stuff because I got a car. And I figured I might as well. And I offered it like half a year ago. And they're not actually asking more than I offered, which is fine by me, which means I'll gladly do it. Plus I get to spend some time with them. I enjoy them as a human. Their company. I'm actually looking forward to that tonight. After that I'll have to go grocery shopping as well. Ran out of milk at home yesterday. My bank account is in the red. Well, I got a loan quite a while ago as like a rainy day fund of £1,000, and I've started chipping into that. So groceries later today is going to go in that as well. Not good, but I guess that's what a rainy day fund's for. It's only a question of weeks until I get my government grant approved. I guess as we're talking about economics, I might as well talk about this. Earlier today I was actually prepared to spend like half the money I currently have in cash to buy some CBD grass, just because why not? Can smoke it and drive shortly after, not worry. The opening times on the website of the shop are 10 to 10 a.m. to p.m. When I got there I found out it was 12 to 10, so noon to 10 at night. And I actually spent like a lot of money on parking there, just because it pains me to be parked illegally. Though in this case I wouldn't have even been parked illegally, but there was no time of knowing that at the time I got out of the car. Which means I spent $1.50 on parking for like 5 minutes, not even. Would have almost been the realm of legally halting, not parking. Oh well. Guess one learn one's lessons. That's the price I got to pay. That's why I'll get tax benefits once I have to pay taxes, because I got this excess expense of doing things correctly, which apparently normal people don't. Right now I've been parked here for a bit, half an hour or so, a bit more. But this is somewhere where you don't got to pay to park. One of the few places in town. Tiergarten. Right behind me is the Victory statue. Victory pillar. I think I'll actually get to uni a bit early for a shooting day, just because I know the director today is going to be inexperienced and I don't want to run into a clusterfuck production with no catering or so. So I might as well help them, as I believe they'll need the help. Not selfless, not altruistic, but still, you know. when T dealer called, he was actually surprised I was up already, even though it was like 9 in the AM and I'd been on my legs for 3 hours. Still haven't managed to work on any of the films I'm supposed to be working on, as I suspected ahead of time. Purely executive dysfunctioning. I mean, it's literally read something for 5 minutes, edit it together with some video I already have or can shoot within 5 minutes, and then do some sound design. If I had to, and the idea came up just now, I could probably do it within 2 hours, beginning to finished. But the motivation and drive is the issue, I guess, as many times in my life it is. I guess I'll get it sorted out. I've still got like a month for that to be due, but in a month I'll have a lot of other things to do. My thesis will be starting, well, I'll have to have applied for it by the end of the month, so yay. I'm actually split on a few things for thesis subject. One thing is I was considering looking at Esther Johnson at Blanche Pictures, a video artist and now prof in northeastern England, in the North Yorkshire. I believe it's Yorkshire, I'm not sure actually. For one thing, and then I was thinking I actually could just phrase it more generally and do a general video art, or even Renaissance 3.0, which is Renaissance 3.0 in as such. It's just an exhibition at the time, but I could just label it the current Renaissance or so. Just because there's general spirit or video art in the current Renaissance. Just because there is a belief, I believe rightfully so, that we are in the Renaissance era, and that would allow me to explore scientific video, which is something I quite like, capturing specific scientific phenomena on camera. It's just a fun way of playing around, I guess, and I like that. Ooh. Coffin nails. Oh yeah. I'm actually surprised by myself that I'm recording this here, but I guess having been for a walk put me in the right mood, and I've got time. It would have been better planning had I gone to uni and parked there and done this, because then I would have had a hard deadline. Like this, I have a soft deadline, and I'll have to find parking once I get to uni. Usually it's only a matter of 10 minutes or so, but longest I spent was like 20 minutes, and after waiting another hour before leaving and fleeing the scene. Yeah. All of those things are the reason I am entitled to tax benefits, I guess. Then again, with my legal disability, I got a lawyer to appeal the decision of just 50% degree of disability, degree of disability, because I reckon I got more, and it's been rejected. So now we'll have to look if we sue the government. I guess that's legally the phrasing, yeah. We'll have to look if we sue the government to get the decision overturned. They're now inquiring with my insurance, seeing if that be paid. If it is, I think I'll do it, just because there's no harm in doing so. Then again, I haven't even gotten my disability ID, because that would be sticking to what they have given me. And I was surprised they granted disability the first time, because apparently, so I've been told by many people, the first time they usually just straightforward reject one being disabled. I guess with my case I had enough documents that they couldn't. Still makes me think I'm entitled to more than I got, because if they usually deny people who are disabled, why would they give me all I deserve right away, you know? No point really. I've actually been rocking bureaucracy quite well yesterday. I managed to give a prof notice about a group not reaching out for a group project, even though I'd had my contacts forwarded to them with the ask of them reach out. They have not. It's beyond my control because I have no way of contacting them. I just gave him a heads up, and he then responded saying, no, you might have to do your own thing if the group's not doing nothing. I guess they didn't understand the prof, that is the idea of a heads up, just because next presentation's due Monday. Even if I do my own thing, I'm not going to have one. In light of that, the only other group there is for that course have offered me to join them. One of the people of that group I was in a group with previously by ourselves, and that worked well, so I suppose they don't mind me as a group partner because I do a good job. I think I've agreed to join them just because I don't like doing things last minute, and I don't even have a way of contacting my current group. Well, theoretically I could use Microsoft Teams, but it's not like they're going to check it, so nah. Send a message just for it to not be read. I guess that's a cover my arse kind of philosophy, and I might want to do that. Then again, they won't read it. And I believe I've covered my arse by having my number given to them and asked to reach out, because I can't do more than that, and that's already cover my arse territory. I don't know about the current group's reliability, but the person I did ask to forward my number are not the most reliable, but I was with them when they forwarded my number, so I know for a fact my current group has my number. Which means it is no longer my current group. It is my past. It was my past group. My current group doesn't actually have much of a plan of what we're doing because the prof didn't like the other group members' ideas. The prof did like my idea, but I'm not too fond on iterating on it because, my ideas tend to produce a lot of work, so I don't really like the idea of a lot of work, This Sunday, and presumably only this Sunday, I intend on screening a fraction, maybe first half, maybe first 5 minutes, of formerly known as Working Title Smoke and Mirrors, my last project 20.24 at Film Club. So that's going to be a fun one. I originally announced screening last week, but then too many people forgot, and I was too lazy to remind them. So some people missed out last week, due to no fault of my own. This week I'm going to make sure to remind everyone. I'll just need 20 minutes, and then I'll have that screened. There's a private screening, I guess, because only for members of the club and people who are testing with club. And it shouldn't affect festival viability nonetheless, just because only a partial screening is not even whole screening, Oddly enough, I'll be doing the screening from this phone. Though the phone is not equipped to screen, it's not a big enough device, and it doesn't have good enough speakers or loud enough speakers. Oddly enough, they have an Apple TV hooked up there to the projector and the audio system there, where we do Film Club. And I can just hook up the phone over Wi-Fi and use AirPlay, which is like the first time I'll be using that feature. Well, for video. I guess for audio, Bluetooth connection is AirPlay in a lot of cases, but yeah, Airstream. Kind of looking forward to that, just because I've gotten a lot of really good feedback from the few people I've shown it to thus far, and they'd all send the versions without audio. Now I have audio, so there's no longer just my work. I still hold the copyright to it. I license the audio, fair and square. Exclusive for motion picture, unpaid. For that they get to use excerpts of my motion picture for doing their own advertising or whatever portfolio, you know. There's a fair deal. If so, then it's unfair toward me, but I don't mind because I think it's fair, so everyone thinks it's fair. Which make it a fair deal, in my book. I had an odd situation yesterday night. At the kitchen window, there was a small bug on the windowsill. I tried to get it to climb onto my finger or onto lighters to chuck it out the window, put on the windowsill so it's outside, not inside my flat, because that's my domicile, not for other forms of life besides once I invite or keep myself. And I tried for like solid 4 or 5 minutes, and then I thought I finally had it, and it turns out I accidentally squashed it, and I actually feel bad because of that. You know, it was a bug like this size, you know, like barely at all, but I killed it, man. That's to no one's benefit. Like, man, I tried to get it to leave. We don't speak a common language. I tried to throw it out. It was not open for that. Sadly, I ended up killing it by accident. Manslaughter. Well, actually, BUGSLAUGHTER. I'd probably be surprised to find out how many forms of life I have in my flat. Like, there must be insects in a lot of dark places in my place just because I'll let them be. They can't be out on the windowsill. Funny how that works. Double standards and all. It's bloody warm again. We haven't even got noon. There's already 24 degrees in the shade. 24 centigrade. Which is why I got the car fan run. There's not air conditioning because this car don't have it, but there's a fan. I think you'll be able to hear it if I crank it up. There we go. Nice white noise. It might be cancelled out. Who knows? I wouldn't know. That's the funny bit, you know. There's a steady humming I got along on both my ears, coming from in front. But also bring fresh air with it, so I don't mind too much. I have wondered for a while for just a leisurely project, but I think it's too much editing work for me to want to do it. Whether I should just drive around for 1 hour, record the entire hour, anonymise it afterwards so it's GDPR compliant, so remove all reg plates, branding, faces, blur them, or pixelate them, and just point out all the mistakes I notice myself and others make. Just because it's crazy how few people are rule compliant. I mean, I do my best, and I barely bend the rules, but I still manage to whoopsie some rules occasionally, like forget my indicators when there's no one around or so. Usually I remember, but particularly one thing which was only added to German rules of the road a few years back, like 2017 or later, is when in a turning off lane, with arrows pointed on the floor, even though you're only going one direction, there's no other way you could be going, one should indicate. And I sometimes whiff that indicating, man. It's not cool, you know. Like, okay, yeah, the rules of the road and all, but then again, too many people don't give a flying F about the rules of the road. So, meh. Well, not giving an F is not fair. Are too ignorant to the rules of the road. There we go, that's less unfair. I'll say ahead of time, the thumbnail for this was likely taking very few minutes before I started this, but I figured I'd want to sit in my car to do it. So yeah, me and my brother, we always do it on the glove compartment. The Blues Brothers. I had even considered doing a thesis on that, but turns out there's not much academic stuff on it. It's not very viable. So I think I'll ask my prof whether they'd be up for doing something like the modern Renaissance or video art in the modern Renaissance, because I got to narrow down my subject. I mean, I got to apply for it with the subject written down by the end of the month, and I guess I will, because the alternative is not having enough time for one's thesis. Well, like this one, I already don't got enough time. I mean, 11 weeks after 8 weeks of which the 40 pages thesis is due, and at the end of the 11 weeks the bachelor's film is due. Like, it's a joke. No one can make a film they're proud of in that time, considering it's basically 3 weeks that you aren't writing. So 3 weeks to produce and post-produce. Absolute mess. After that, I'll have like 2 months of time off, basically. Still be getting a student grant then, because I'll still be enrolled at the university. And that'll be something. Anyways, I hope you two manage to go for recreational walks without any destination whatsoever every now and then. Stay safe. Cheerio.